Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. I was asked to take a look at the Bitcoin chart on the daily time frame again. First of all, bigger picture view. At the moment, preferred scenario that the bear market low was completed in November in the white wave 2. Of course, it could be that we get another bear market low. And in this scenario, and let's maybe talk about the bearish scenario first. In this scenario, we would reset this wave 2 that presumably was completed in November, probably at around 10k or maybe even a little bit less. It's nothing I'm primarily looking for, but of course a possibility. And this would be a so-called, in my opinion, best way to take this is in a flat structure that we say, okay, this ABC structure is actually a fourth wave, and we come down once more in a fifth wave, and we had an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. This is absolutely a possibility and something we talked about many times before, but obviously as long as we are holding above support, nothing I'm primarily looking for, but of course possible. That would be covered by your risk management. But at the moment, just not the preferred scenario. Nevertheless, I have to say that we still need to focus on lower at the moment because we cannot confirm a low in place after this correction. So this is a scenario I just show you, first of all, to make you aware of it, of course. Yeah. And also because obviously I was asked to show you all relevant scenarios. Normally it only makes sense to focus on such a scenario when we get closer to it. But again, this is just sort of a summary of the most relevant scenarios. The next one is, and that's the most bullish one, that's the blue wave count. The blue wave count is currently preferred. And it is a scenario that you see on the chart as a very bullish 1-2, 1-2 setup, which could now result in a third wave rally. Now or a little bit later, on the shorter time frame, I have no evidence that this second wave 2 low is already in. Okay, so in this scenario, we would have produced a series of so-called 1-2 setups, and the second wave 2 is currently still unfolding probably. Might already be in, yeah. But what I wanted to show you on the bigger time frame is just to highlight, okay, we have in the blue count a 1-2, 1-2 setup. On the lower time frame, we need to deal with the question, is the low already in or not? But a third wave rally could take us to 40k plus, because each of these wave 1-2 setups need a third wave, a fourth, and a fifth wave. Yeah, and then we have the scenario that's basically the green wave count. Also bullish, where we're saying all of it was a 5-wave move. This entire move up of the November lows, so that all of this was a wave 1, okay? And the wave 2 is actually down here. So it would just allow for a deeper ABC pullback. There are different ways how this could unfold. This would be a deeper ABC pullback. You could even argue that it was 5 waves to this high. 1, 2, 3, 4 as a triangle, and a 5. Not a great count though. And then basically also here, yeah, we come just a little bit lower. So for me, it's all about tactically to understand, okay, yes, of course, another bear market low is possible. The most likely pathway at the moment is a 1-2, 1-2 setup. So we're watching for bottoming structures in this region until we see a bottoming structure that is likely, and until we can confirm a low. Price can go lower, and depending on which fib levels break, they will give us a clue if we are in the blue 1-2, 1-2 setup, or if all of this or this was a wave 1 and we just have to prepare for a deeper setback. I think this is the best way to approach it at the moment. At the moment, we have not sufficient evidence that a lasting low has been established here. So the focus still needs to be on lower, because we started a local downtrend middle of July. So since this started, we could not confirm a low. So the moment needs to still be at the moment we still need to be focused on lower, okay? Living in the present. So if we go to the 4-hour chart, I had another question. Someone asked me if I could explain why this here in the blue wave count would have to be a WXY structure, not an ABC. Yeah, the ABC structure is the common one. A wave down, B wave up, C wave down. In a C wave, we would need 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This can still happen, but because we're exploring at the moment if a low has been established, I labeled it as a WXY, because in a WXY, the price in the last wave of the correction produces only 3 waves. Okay, if it's a flat structure, it should get 5 waves in the C wave. So of course it could still become one, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This wave 4 just came a little bit too high to be reliable. It's not invalid, it's still a possibility. But either way, that doesn't change the analysis, that just doesn't change the commentary. As we said, we cannot at this stage confirm a low in place, so we still need to focus on lower. And depending on where we react, so as I said in previous videos, 24K is still a relevant Fibonacci support. If, for example, we stop between 24 and 22K, I can still count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But first of all, I don't want to bring too many scenarios on the chart. So first of all, we need to establish, okay, is a low in or not? If we get back below support, then I will probably get rid of the blue wave count here on the shorter time frame. And we are going to deal with the question, okay, do we just make one more low here? Or is it going to be something more extended, as here in the green wave count here, A wave, B wave, C wave. Question was also by someone, okay, is this B wave not too short? Few things to talk about that. I know it's a lot of answering questions today, but I want to make it a bit educational and also not too much is going on. So I think that helps, and also to give you an idea of the bigger picture. I know it's quite complex, that concept, but markets are complex, okay? So I still try to keep it as simple as possible. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. So no, the B wave doesn't need to be any higher. It has done what it needs to do. It surely could still push a little higher. There is no evidence that a top is in place, but it has already done what it needs to do. It has reached the 38.2 Fib level. It doesn't need to go any higher. But what could of course happen is that these 3 waves, A, B, C, for example, that's the larger A wave. It does an ABC in a B wave, and then comes higher in a C wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we still only have 3 waves. And that's a larger B wave. So that's always possible. B waves don't really have targets. They are the most difficult waves. They are the corrective waves of the corrective waves. So yeah, just always be on the lookout with B waves. And then in the very short term, we're still tracking this short-term scenario where we say, okay, short term, we're currently exploring if indeed a lasting low has been made in the blue wave count on the 17th of August. So we can remain focusing on higher as long as the golden ratio support is holding. That's at 26,440. As long as that level is holding, one more high can happen. And I'm focusing on one more high or maybe even 2 more highs for the scenario that maybe the third wave is still unfolding. So 1 or 2 more highs. To keep it simple, I focus on higher as long as we're holding 26,440. Below that level, we get a first warning that things might not work out in the blue wave count. And a break below the B wave low here would invalidate the blue wave count. And then we are dealing, that's basically 25,780. And then we're dealing with the question, okay, we're most likely coming down again. Is 24K to 22K the zone to find support, or is it even lower? But we're going to deal with that question when we get to it. At the moment, we're exploring if the price can put in these 5 waves up, because that's really what we need to see to confirm that a low has been made on the 17th of August. 5 waves up, then 3 waves down in an ABC structure in a wave 2, and then we could go higher. Yeah, that's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.